Welcome back to Masters Berlin, where we are gearing up for our third bout of the day. It's going to be Envy against Vivo Keed, and we've got Gio rejoining us to help break it all down. Gio, the team's stepping on stage and gearing up behind us probably an hour or two earlier than they maybe would have expected based on the way the series have gone so far today.
Yeah, I mean, I heard that the Japanese teams had to quarantine when they got here, but I actually thought Crazy Raccoon would show up.
Ooh.
Oh my god. I think they had enough for today.
And with that, we will transition to the next series at hand. Again, it's Envy versus Vivo Keed. Let's go ahead and start on the Brazilian side of the match of Kakuka with Vivo Keed.
Okay, I need to recover my breath and let's talk a little bit about this Brazilian team. Yes, we are seeing actually Group B here. I mean, Zeta Division and Crew, we still haven't seen them play. I believe that's our first match for tomorrow, if I'm not in the wrong. But we got to start with this, and we have to say that yesterday we did have another Brazilian team against another NA team. That was Havan versus 100 Thieves, but this looks like, I mean, Envy should be the favorite here.
Yeah, I think that that is definitely true. I mean, Envy, they did pretty well in NA. They've made some roster changes over the course of the last stage-ish, you know? And I think that they're looking at their strongest right now, whereas I think maybe it's a little bit unfair to say, but especially after the performance of Havan Liberty yesterday, there is some doubt shrouding the Brazilian region, because don't forget, of course, we're still in the shadow of that feeling of Brazil are going to do amazing at Reykjavik and then being let down.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about, obviously, one of our teams today is going to be Vivo Keed. And as you were saying, Gio, we think of Brazil, we have to mention Sharks, Vikings, Furia. None of them are here because Vivo Keed stepped up. All of these players coming from different teams, different rosters, they were like, you know what, we should maybe just get together and just beat all of these teams and prove that we are better. All eyes put on Heat. I mean, we're seeing them coming right off the ban here.
Yeah, I mean, let's not mince words. A number of these players, if not all of them, kicked from their former teams, then banding together to take their opponents down within their region, and now representing the region as a whole here as the #1 seed on the Berlin stage. So you got to wonder if there's that extra bit of motivation, you know, behind all of their wins, given the fact that they want to show up the people who once let them go.
Well, that's kind of the thing. You look at someone like Joe, right, and you look at everything that he played in 2020, and it's almost entirely first-place finishes. So you might as well make it here to the biggest event of the Valorant circuit so far. You know, until we get to Champions, this is the big boy, the chunky boy. Yeah, sure, let's go make a name for ourselves on that stage.
You've got Joe, that's one standout player. The other one, of course, has to be Heat. Let's zero in on him.
Yes, we need to talk a lot about Heat, because he was actually on Havan Liberty, and probably they missed him yesterday. This player is insane. He even broke a record of kills, if I'm not in the wrong.
He did, 37 kills against Gamelanders.
Oh, exactly. Oh, you've done your homework, Dash. Thank you very much.
Every once in a while, I know a thing or two.
No, but this is one of the other Jets that we need to talk about. Obviously, we have CNET, we have Defo, we have a lot of them, okay? But he is also one of them. He's just coming from Brazil. He's not one of the regions that we look up the most. And of course, there were other teams in front of them, but now they're here, and this is what matters. So he's going to be a key for them. 5
exciting players who have come together from very different places to make it all the way to Masters Berlin. Let's meet our Vivo Keed players.
Meu nick é Joe e eu jogo pela Vivo Keed. A nossa jornada ela foi muito difícil. Depois da minha saída da Gamelanders, eu ainda tinha muita sede de competitivo. Então eu fui atrás dos melhores jogadores que estavam free agents no momento. E acabou que a gente montou esse time. Para mim é muito satisfatório, não só por mim, mas também pelo meu time inteiro. A gente se dedicou muito para estar aqui e é realmente gratificante poder representar não só o Brasil, mas como poder mostrar o nosso Valorant para as pessoas aqui fora.
Ainda vai conseguir enfrentar o jogador e o Muniz desarma Spike.
Relativamente falando, eu acho o nosso time muito agressivo. A gente responde bem às ações que os oponentes impõem na gente. O hit, com a jet dele, ele sempre acaba buscando abates pra gente, o que é muito importante. E ele ganha sempre a maioria dos duelos. O Muriz, ele é uma pessoa muito tática. Quando ele entrou no nosso time, ele, tipo, abriu a nossa mente em relação a isso. O Vixen, ele é uma pessoa muito tranquila, falando do pessoal dele agora. Ele traz uma calma pro nosso time que é surreal. O NTK, ele é... Como que eu posso falar dele? Ele é um pouco mais maluco. Ele é muito maluco, mas as plays dele sempre dá certo. E a gente dá total liberdade para ele fazer o que quer dentro do time.
Continua ali agora o NTK procurando contato. Vai acertar os 2 jogadores!
Eu acho que eu sou um pouco da alma do time. Eu não consigo jogar onde um ambiente ele fica um pouco conturbado. Isso me afeta muito. Não só dentro, mas fora de jogo também. Acaba que eu fico meio que sem vontade de jogar. Eu diria que a gente vem com um estilo muito agressivo e não só para Envy, mas todos os times tomarem cuidado que a gente vem mostrar o que o Brasil tem de melhor.
They fancy themselves an aggressive team. It makes me wonder how they're going to stack up against the likes of Envy, who, as you mentioned earlier, Gio, have gone through a couple of roster changes. Most recently, in August, Ye joining the roster himself on the Jet. A very aggressive player.
Yeah, I think a lot of people felt kind of bad for Momo when he got replaced, but Ye just has so many fans, Everybody loves the El Diablo, and it's exactly true. You love watching this guy with Blade Storm. He knows exactly how to use those knives, and it's just fantastic play to watch. And also, speaking of relatively new players, Marv as well came over as a loan from FaZe too, and I really feel like he's been a nice adhesive in the squad that wasn't necessarily there before too.
Yeah, Finesse just wanted another Canadian on the team. I feel like for Envy, they're always on that spot where they're not on top, but they're not in the bottom. They stay on that 3rd, 4th position, and I feel like that says a lot about the team because every single team evolves with time, okay? So the fact that you are able to at least stay on that position means that you're evolving as well, and there's going to be a moment where you're going to climb.
In a lot of ways, means there's a lot at stake here, though, as you mentioned. This is their moment to make a statement on the international stage and say, hey, it's time for us to move into that top tier, that upper echelon, and stay there for good.
Yeah, I mean, you consider the fact that 3 NA teams have come here for this event. You've got Sentinels, who already, I mean, a lot of people consider them to be the best team in the world right now. They won Reykjavik, so they're already, pretty high. They're also the team that knocked Envy down into the lower bracket in the NA playoffs. And 100 Thieves as well, which a number of people will probably give them the edge over Envy too. So even within their own region, they're probably, I would say, the most understated of the 3 teams.
Yeah, some of the team, some of the people, I mean, in every country, I have to say, think that Envy are going to be the big surprise here. And as you were saying, that this was actually going to be their moment. And I feel like if just as Gambit had an easy start today, this might be the easiest start for them. We'll see.
I mean, that's very exciting for me to hear, but I do want to, again, kind of talk about how those few changes that have been made to the Envy roster most recently will maybe affect their play and show up in a big way. We talk about that core Finesse, Victor and Crashies, Marv coming in from FaZe, but it's Ye picked up from Ambox. I think that might be the difference maker here and push them to the top.
I would like to see it be that. As we say, he's a very, very highly spoken about player. There have been a lot of duelists who have been brought up in recent times, but for me, Ye is just really fun to watch, and maybe that's not like the most, exquisite analysis that I could give, but maybe I'm a bit biased. I think he's fun to watch. I think he's great. I love seeing the aggression that he exhibits, and I think when you pair him with someone like Victor, who when he's playing something like a Sky, his flashes are great. I mean, Victor's fantastic at that kind of thing. So you have them working together, and it really helps facilitate him.
Well, I know this much. The players are backstage ready to get to play, and I don't want to make them wait any longer. So let's get out there and meet our teams for the first time. It's Envy and Vivo Kid. there they go. Finesse in the coaching position as Mike's HD not able to make it to Berlin, but the players to take their seats. A map select to come shortly after. Not a ton of pop and circumstance this time around from the squads. I'm always curious that first time they step out on the stage, how they're going to be feeling, what's the energy like, looking for the jitters in the fingers.
We didn't get much energy. I feel it's a little bit because they're a little bit just cold still because of what you said that they had to come in
Right, they thought they were playing 2 hours from now.
So they were still warming up. They were like, okay, we're playing now, so focus.
I mean, I was thinking the same thing. There was a very cold, like, it was so serious. They were in the zone, whereas before we've seen them all, like, leaping around and whatnot. But, you know, on the side of Envy, for example, you worry, but you wonder about, are they going to be prepared for this? Half of the guys on this squad are ex-CSGO pros who are very used to playing on stage. I mean, like, FNS and Ye were teammates all the way back on Complexity in 2018. So these guys have known each other a while. They're used to this kind of environment.
Ice in their veins. Maps up on the board. Let's see which one will be the first to disappear. It will be the choice of Vivo Key when it comes through.
I have my doubts. I don't know exactly if they're going to go for something that they don't want to play or they don't feel comfortable, or they're going to be for the hardest one they think that Envy would pick. I also have doubts of what Envy is going to do. Okay, Haven, okay. I like that because I feel like that is a comfort zone for Envy and not like that for Vivo Kid, so that's expected.
It's a balance, isn't it? Because it's not too far. Oh, this is interesting. Envy? Envy, the team who always insta-ban Split, and they're going for Breeze instead. And the thing is, you look at their statistics, Envy have played Breeze 3 times, never won it. Whereas on the sides of Vivo Kid, they have.
I think it's not only that, it's the fact that also Vivo Kid is so good in the attack on Breeze. They're so explosive. We were hearing in the interview that they wanted to be aggressive, and Envy on their defense was dreadful, so nothing that we like to see. Actually, we have the first map.
We're going back to Icebox for that map number 1. It's going to be Envy on defense to kick things off. I think to many, there aren't going to be too many surprises in the early map picks, but like we said, with Split still on the board, you wonder if and when that's coming in. Ascent as well. Both of these teams happy to play on that map, and of course buying the final map available, and that's what will in fact be map 2, the choice of Envy.
I mean, this is a map that Envy feel very comfortable on. It's their second most played map. They have a pretty decent win rate on it. This is a stomping ground for them. But the thing is, on Vivo Key, they also like Bind, so you wonder where that balance is going to come through.
I feel like for Envy, Bind, at least in my eyes, is their best map. And for Vivo Kid, it's kind of like a coin flip. I actually thought that it was the map that they were going to ban. That was my prediction. But yeah, I feel like that is a great choice coming from Envy, especially since they incorporated that Astra onto it, as many other teams have done it.
Well, and wouldn't you guess it, if you don't ban it, it's going to be picked up by Vivo Key. Split will be the third and final map if we are to make it all the way there.
I mean, that one's gonna be. I am so intrigued to see how it is that one's gonna come through. Just knowing that Envy don't really like that map. The last time they played it was against 100 Thieves in the lower bracket final. Went 5-13. Whew.
And Kid has had very tied up matches on this split because it's a really popular map back on Brazil, and many of the top teams love to play it. So we don't have a clear yes or no. Still, versus what Envy does on this map, I would have gone for it as a first pick.
Interesting. Okay. Well, we'll have to see if the results, agree with you. But we're diving into my favorite map, Icebox, number 1.
Is it?
No, it's not. I just play it all the time. It was, I swear, I feel like every game I play is on Icebox. Either way, Icebox for number 1. I'm kind of curious from the two of you, when you take a look at the agent pools for both of these teams, where any certain adjustments can be made to find a strategic advantage straight off the bat.
I would like to see Envy incorporating as a Sage into the team, because I feel like, especially with what's going on B, the way that the map is designed, I don't know, I think Sage gives you more opportunities when things are not working, because not everything can go according to plan. Having the Killjoy, of course, is going to give you some more opportunities to work for post-ban and obviously cover your back, but maybe, I don't know, pronounce it to the sky or the soap, not the soap, I would pronounce the sky.
I mean, yeah, in recent times, the only kind of wall that they've brought at all has been the Viper. They don't incorporate the Sage really into their composition. You look over on the side of Vivo Keyed, and Sage and Viper both come out.
Yeah.
So that can really give you a lot more control. And that would be an interesting one because with Envy, I think they're very good at playing off of initiative utility. But of course, if you lose any of those people, the initiative utility could be great for something like, for example, a post plant. But if you don't have those people available and your opponent's got so much control over the site that you lack, there's going to be an imbalance there.
I also feel like Keyed with their new composition, just swapping from that Killjoy onto that Reyna, you go into a double duelist, but it gives you so much pressure, so much aggression. Again, what they were saying on the interview is literally what they're looking for here. I wouldn't want them to go back into that Killjoy. Yes, it helps you cover up, but I feel like on Icebox, you just gotta go forward. Just don't look back. Never.
The players are lobbying up, which means that Prime Gaming Agent Select is soon to follow. But as you mentioned, there might be some interesting matchups here, given the Sage Viper or the expected Sage Viper on one side to the expected Killjoy Viper on the side of Envy here on Icebox. But W map, as mentioned, how many times are we going A this time around?
Many. I feel if when Vivo starts attacking, they're gonna go B on the first round, because if you have that Sage wall, that can give you almost a free plant because they don't have enough time to break it. You can get the plant, and as they do not have a Sage, they're not gonna put a wall on your face to defuse it. So that would be a safe one. I mean, I'm just, snitching a little bit. Go B.
Right? Hey, listen up. We got IGL over here, Kuka. No, but that'll be interesting. Okay, so maybe one B hit, and then we go A for the rest of the time.
Yeah, probably.
All right.
That's gonna be it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, I was just thinking, if Envy aren't going to bring a Sage, you don't want to be going B every round. Like, that's called masochism, kids. Like, we're not going to be going down that alley.
Mid, though, largely ignored, although, again, I think there's some stuff to be learned from things like the previous matchup that we saw in the way that Gambit was able to control through mid, A site, and collapse onto B pushes, utilizing, we saw the Viper lineups, the Viper walls to cut certain angles and some create some really unique opportunities for picks as aggressive teams are trying to push onto B.
Well, I think that's the thing, especially with Envy, one of the risks there is the fact that I would say they're usually quite easily influenced in a lot of their defense, and so if they're not starkly holding on to that mid area, if they're not maintaining control there, that's absolutely something that Vivo Key could take advantage of, because I don't think they're going to be a team that are afraid to try that.
Yeah, Envy. 2 words to describe this map, will be solid and stable. It's just a good map for them because they know how to play it and they can adapt. So it's about how far are Vivo Key going to be so aggressive that they become predictable. Is something that, for example, we saw yesterday, maybe on F4Q, when you do some things a couple times, the G2 are going to read into you and it's not going to work anymore. So if Envy can read into the aggression coming from Vivo Key, this should be a map for them.
We saw some surprises yesterday, and I think we're in store for one here just because of the way the first 2 series went. And then this one here means we've got lots of room to run. I'm excited for Vivo to step up in a big way. Brazil, I think, to the expectation of the region, underperformed in Reykjavik. And so again, a lot rests on the shoulders of the Vivo Key players here to step up. And no better way to do it than against one of the North American squads in Envy.
I mean, that was the challenge of Havan Liberty yesterday, and I think, look, if anything, we've got to take some positives from that, and the positive here for Vivo Keyed is that the bar has been set rather low.
That is not a positive.
That
is not a positive. We're going to have a discussion after the show today about the definition of the word positivity.
If I am judging my success based on whether I am,
you're moving the goalposts is what you're doing.
Which is fine.
I only compare me to myself. I don't like comparing to others.
All right. Well, while we compare ourselves to ourselves, we'll compare the Prime Gaming Agent Select to the expected picks as the teams have played on here throughout all of Stage 3 here for VCT. I think there's a few that we know for sure are coming through. The Jets on either side, the Vipers on either side.
Yes.
But a few question marks in there.
One of the head-to-heads that we need to be looking at, especially on Icebox, has to be Heat versus Jay. Most of us, especially you guys at home, are looking forward to this. I know it.
I mean, there we go. So Heat's already locked in the Jet, which I don't think is going to be a surprise to anyone. And the Sage, of course, for Vivo Kid. That's something that we spoke about that we don't necessarily expect Envy to do. For me, I would say that the big matchup I'm going to be looking for is going to be Vixen versus Marv, assuming that they both pick this Viper, which you can see they have a 100% pick rate on. Just because I think that Marv is such a strong controller. He does a really good job of it. But Vixen, for me, has always been a standout on Vivo Kid.
So this is exactly what we expected. That was what the percentages were telling us. No changes. What can we expect? Like a lot of aggression, obviously. And, well, we didn't see the Sky, so that's fine.
Yeah, in fact, no changes. Really only two differences between the teams themselves. Agents are locked in. I know our casters are ready and rearing to go. So I'm going to toss it up to my boys, Riv and Doug, otherwise affectionately known as Rug, for the call.
I did wonder if Rug was going to come out. I thought, is he just going to go with Riv and Doug? But no, of course. When you've got something like that, sure. I guess you double down on it. But thank you so much, Dash. Yes, it's going to be a good one. Envy, Vivo Kid, again, a North America versus Brazil matchup. And while the previous one was a bit lackluster on the side of Brazil, maybe there's something else here.
There could be. It's definitely, fans feel like Envy could come out very strong here, and Vivo is going to have trouble. But the way these picks and bans have gone, they do slight the percentages a little more towards the victory of Vivo Key. That's not to say it's fully in favor, because Envy does have the better win percentages on the majority of the maps chosen here today.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one. I think when you look at this on paper, as Vivo Key makes their way closer to A, Envy have taken a good bit of space away on the towards B long. This should be a tune-up match for Envy, right? Like, let's be honest. You've got Ye on LAN for the first time in the new roster. Can El Diablo perform the same way that he does online? Ooh. So far, so good, but a great response from NTK and from Heat.
Yeah, they've pushed up fantastically. I love the way they're waiting around, seeing how much Envy will push. You got to watch the first few pitches come through. If you're just swinging at everything, you're never going to know the precedent your opponent is setting. Just a few shots from Ye there as he looks to keep the pressure with FNS.
Now, Victor has wrapped his way back. He was coming in through long. Now he's made his way up mid, and FNS is wrapping around as well as Ye gets one onto Vixen. Heat! Oh, he got behind him. Okay. Joe, they've got something cooking here. FNS has to go big. No, he drops. Vivo Keyed win the pistol.
And you can see Envy was not expecting any of that. A team leaves the site, they set up defense, but they were all huddled together, hiding in a small death ball here, one behind. Look at Heat even sees one come through, is able to trade the next shot with Joe there. What a nice setup. And really threw Envy for a loop on that one. Pistol rounds mean a lot. Let's see if they can keep the pressure on Envy here in round 2.
They absolutely do, and you could tell that it meant a lot to the players as well, right? You heard him pop off, you saw him pop off as well. Like, that was a big opening round, at least for them. But again, for Envy, you've got to think like, all right, won the pistol, that's fine. There's still plenty of time to go in this half.
We'll see how Vivo plays this one as they start to pressure towards that B side. So they had a little bit of a default that worked towards A a bit faster with one hang on the side of B flank, but now it's just everybody going in with one holding back at B here.
Yeah, and you take a look again, Victor's playing the lurk, he's flanking around, he's already taken so much space A, and he's gonna get a good bit of info. It's gonna be a big kill on to NTK if he's able to get a hit, he has spotted him. So that should be plenty of info. They are leaning towards B, you've got that lurk, but Heat's popping off on the side. Heat gets 2, but Victor trades that out.
Good to do the econ damage. Victor's going to be able to pick up a weapon. The rest of the team will wait for him to start to rotate around so they can put these guns together. 4v3. And this should be a quick cleanup here for Vivo, but Crashy's with the Marshall.
Yeah, Crashy's got one. I was about to say Victor has an upgraded weapon, but he's going to drop, leaving Nefness and Crashy's alone, and now it's just going to be Crashy's with the Marshall. Now, Vixen's very weak, but we know about Reyna's in situations like this, how devastating they can be. There's not going to be anything cooking there. Vixen gets the last, Vivo Keed gets to two, but now Envy can respond.
They do, and they're going to have to respond as well to the vocal cords of Vivo Keed behind us. Each round comes with an explosion of excitement after they take that victory, and we'll see if it comes here for round 3. They are vibing as they just start off here, and like we said, these teams are wearing off the nerves. They're shaking off the cobwebs. These are the first times they're able to get in on to the maps here within the competition play of groups. So Third round, let's see what Envy can set up for defense. We always know they're an aggressive team. They like to push and grab as much intel as possible, and already doing that on A. You can see the catwalk coming in from Ye.
Yeah, I think the intel that you call is very important, but also the space, right? Like the denial of real estate. FNS gets caught in a bit of a precarious spot. He drops at the hands of Vixen, but here comes Victor. Victor with the showstopper up top. Able to get one onto Heat, but he's going to get cleaned up right back after. Ye getting in on the action across mid, as well as members of Vivo Key just drop like flies across the map. Envy still with the numbers advantage. Ye certainly worse for wear, but in a decent spot. NTK got nothing cookie. Crashies gets 3, Envy are on the board.
They do find that first one, and Crashies, we remember stage 3 from him. A lot of the time we're like, yeah, he's in there, he's doing it. Crashies clutch, Crashies 4K, Crashies 3K. He has had a hell of a stage 3, and the team coming together throughout this now seems to be on that first round, feeling that they can take a few more.
Yeah, Crashies can be nutty with it, but I think the important thing here is for Vivo Key, how do you respond?
Exactly.
Right? Like you had something cooking, you had a little bit of momentum. How do you respond to something like that? Meanwhile, for Envy, you've got lighter buys, right? Like Victor, FNS on lighter purchases, but they do not slow down.
Instantly forward. And even if you wanted that space, the blast pack and whatnot denies you from it. Maurice, nice shot onto Ye. That's a huge frag on this round, especially since it's the partial buy for Vivo Key. That means so much more here, or the game could swing one way.
Now they're going to get a good bit of info off of Crashies' drone, working his way across the middle of the map as well as Joe starts to plant the spike. Mir's still lurking around. They understand, right? Victor has taken so much space late in the rounds on the opposite sides. You can almost expect that. Maurice reads it like a book, cleans him up, and now there's no pressure coming from that way. They can rotate off back towards A because Maurice is going to be able to waltz in for free.
And they just snuff out that mid-surge. Great hit by that orb from Vixen. Great Viper play to get the team mobilized and across the map. Remember, those calls coming in from Joe. The soul of the squad, he says himself. If things aren't right, he wants to make it right.
Heat? Yeah, my gosh, Heat with the Blade Storm. He was cutting off the rotations, right? He was the one who was going to be problematic. He does just that as Marv is stuck between a rock and a hard place, able to take one with him, but he does eventually fall. Mirius gets to 3. We asked, how are Vivo Key going to respond? They've responded just fine.
Oh, they're responding, and they want to inflict even more mental game here. I am loving this vibe right now coming in from Vivo Key. 3-1 as they go aggressive from the attack side, and they're absorbing the knowledge and the information that Envy is throwing out into each round. Quickly push up. Vivo was okay with giving that space. Envy's going to come out for a trade, and they were right that time. So now, who's going to adapt next? Does it still become Vivo Keyed, waiting back, or do they start to push right into Envy now that they know they can clean up some kills and get some ult points here?
Yay. Able to get the Blade Storm online, and we're already seeing a change, right? Like, how many times did we see that aggressive denial of space across A from Envy? That's adjusted. They're playing a bit more safely. Now, you do have FNS doing the same thing down B long, but Vivo Key, look at how they're positioned, right? Like, they understand that there's a propensity to do that. They don't want to show anything early. Very well played by Vivo Key.
Oh, FNS. Little creeper, right-click classic. Could be all the doctor ordered on this one. Just another one almost gets the Reyna as well, but he goes down to Joe.
Marv still in a great spot. The res is going to come out onto Heat, but no, Marv drops as well. You imagine this round was going to go in favor of Vivo Key, giving Evie had nothing but pistols and a Marshall, and so far that seems to be the case as Envy members continue to drop. I think the important thing here is there are a couple of ultimates to work with, but you take a look, NTK's just 1 point away from having his ult online in the next round as well. So you've got, as this round wraps up, again, you hear the players pop off. You've got a couple of good things cooking up on both sides, but Vivo Key has started off very strongly.
Yeah, seeing Victor come up so quick on that Raze showstopper in the beginning made me think that it was enough to sway around. You get something that early, you can change it. Vivo Key reacted fantastically to that, was able to recoup the losses from the ultimate early, and like you said, now they're able to kind of steamroll these ults together round by round. If it's not used this round, it's next. Vixen's close to 1, which may just be an A force one of the rounds. They're setting themselves up perfectly here and absorbing, but also giving Envy a bit of their own aggression, and it's working out great.
But again, as much things change, they remain the same. You saw an early attempt at aggression from A, but they dropped the slow orbs, and they're able to deny some of that. You hear the ult that's come out from Crashies. Looking to see if he can get anything with the Hunter's Fury. I don't think... so he invests at mid. I don't know if he got any tags.
They're going to drop the orb,
looks like
and he
did get a tag on Demers there, but that was it. The drone's going to get cleaned up. So even with that in mind, they understand there's pressure mid. They're able to swap out, give Ye the strong position there.
And those are just simple fundamental openings, right? Drop the gas, take a shot. I love the fact that Vivo is trying everything, and they're not like, it's one strat or strat B here. They're really feeling out the map. Really causing Envy to use a bit more utility here. And we'll see if this is the take. Vivo Key looking to go on to A.
Wall's gone up. Joe looking to get the plant in, a cheeky one, but no, the wall, is going to get blasted down instantly. Not going to have a chance to do that. Now you're going to have to reconsider how you go about things as NTK brings his Hunter's Fury online. Victor dancing around, gets tagged up as Ye does as well, but no damage has been done. And as much as they invest so much, it all calms right back down.
30 seconds left.
Empress is there. So Maurice could really make an impact on this round. You can see it's activated on him right there, left side maze. A bit of the gas wall being used now. This is Marv's. And everybody is just face to face on the other side of the wall. The first one from Ye.
FNS has to bust a move too, man. He's got to get there. There was only short time, and his members are dropping on the side as NTK gets one as well. It's just going to be down to Victor, and yeah, he drops. Now FNS is going to show up late. He gets cleaned up, and they get the money from the plant. Vivo Keyed continuing to pile it onto Envy.
It was like a test. There was like, all right, there's nothing else to do. Yeah, they're on the other side of the wall. Gentleman's agreement, drop it. Here we go. That was a battle royale in A. Everybody there for the fight, and Vivo Key thriving in the chaos, figuring out how to get deeper, quicker, and find the angles they needed to shut the round down. Vivo Key 5-1 versus Envy here on Icebox.
And their Envy broke again, while Heat's going to have an op, rifles across the board. Vixen's going to have his ultimate as well, so you don't foresee, at least in this round, you don't foresee much of a difference, right? Heat's already open to pick up onto Marv with that op that we highlighted just a moment ago, and they're so patient. Look at how they wait, right? They know Envy's just going to push. They're just going to come at us. Let's just wait.
And Envy's, they're looking for options. The Marshal still on to Ye. Crashies just hitting the one tappies there as he gets a second share shot off. Mariz going to take that one down as they just scoop up a few more members on that side. FNS does have the lockdown ready. Look at that for future rounds here. It doesn't look like they'll be able to make too much of an impact on this, but Vivo Key know that Heat's going to get a few, right? That op's going to find somebody peeking at some point, and they are completely okay to let those 40 seconds pass by and not see anything. They'll move up, and they'll take each site happily. And again, even with the op first, a little bit of smoke dug, but they're all right behind it, ready to fight.
Yeah, Ye able to take one with him, but Furious is going to clean him up. Victor looking to do the same. He's got some players in interesting spots. Like FNS is again on the flank, but this time his timing might be a bit better behind one. Able to take him with him.
Great hide.
What an excellent response from Envy. Mirrors is in a bit of a tricky spot, but it's just pistols. FNS just has a classic as well now. The spike is down, the ult was there, but no. Mirrors gets 4, a Red Bull clutch for Vivo Keyed as they increase their lead to 5.
That's the one you want alive, FNS in the clutch situations, but Vandal to pistol does make it tough, and Maurice is crushing right now on the Reyna as we rewatch this round. They had a bit of a peak towards A. You spoke again about the slow early round. This was the eco as well. So they're giving Envy a bit of credit. They're saying, yeah, we know you can pull some tricky stuff. We're still going to play our game, and we're not going to fall into any traps. Envy back on guns. If they do not get this round and they go back to having to go eco, Vivo Key's going to pick up so many rounds in this first half.
All right, so ult used early on from Marv to hold down A, and you've got an op in the hands of Ye. Holding down belong. Now, he has been spotted by that drone there, so the jig's up, right? They know where they are. They're going to get pushed off of that location. You see Ye's already backing up towards spawn as the Viper's wall comes out from Vixen. They're leaning towards B. They have all their utility that way. That's one thing we haven't seen from Vivo is misdirection off of that Viper's wall. If they go that way, at least historically, if it goes up, that's where they're going. Oh, no. It's going from bad to worse, Riv. FNS has no idea!
Oh, he let it go to the last second, too. Beautiful play by Maurice. Fakes the jump out. I think he got a tag on the fact that Ye was there, so they know the operator's just on the other side. As the wall goes up again, they seem fearless going in, but Ye on the money with his op.
Second ult has come through as the spike goes down. What do Envy have in them? What do they do to turn the tides? Because this has been brutal of a beginning here for the North American representative, and it seems to be going from bad to worse. As EA's been cleaned up as well. Victor trying to dance around the smoke, nothing doing quite yet as the spike continues to tick away. There's no flank, there's nobody coming around. They're gonna have to brute force their way through this thing. Crashies with a great start, but Victor drops. Joe, cleaning that up as well as the Blade Storm comes online. Marv slowly peeking his way around. No, when you're staring at 3 like that, or 2, excuse me, and 1 was just around the corner, what do you do? A 7-1 start from Vivo Key.
Doug, absolutely seamless so far from Vivo Keyed. It doesn't look like they've had trouble getting into a site. It doesn't look like they've been flustered by any of Envy's aggression at any point in time in this game, and it seems like they always have the perfect angles held. They are just waxing the floor right now with Envy as it goes to, and we are going to be heading into round 9 right now, 7-1, and we'll get a tactical timeout from Envy.
Yeah, and this, you know, maybe a bit late, but definitely needed. As you hear both players from both teams kind of calling across the desk. They're having a good time. You see some of them kind of jeering on your screen there as they're really kind of egging it on. And honestly, Riv, like, I don't know that anybody expected this.
Doug, I think that's the magic that Vivo Keyed has right now.
Yep.
Vivo Keyed came out of Brazil, out of nowhere, mind you, taking down the top 4 teams. I've got Gamelanders, Furia, Vikings, Sharks, saying thank you very much, passing through that and bringing the momentum here to Masters Berlin. And like I said, I think that unexpected magic is what is really taking Envy by storm. Now Envy has no footing in economy.
Right.
They're trying to find a way back through different portions and through different angles. Each of those angles is held. It does not seem like Envy has an answer currently, but it will be the answer that they can adapt. That's what we're looking for. How does Envy adapt here to at least make this a 7-5? It looks like Vivo is just going to take more rounds, honestly, Doug.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they have not shown
here
any signs of slowing down. I was about to call that out. It's a pistol round with the exception of Marv, who has a Phantom, so you can tell they want to get more ult points, as many as they can, into his pockets to hopefully bring that Viper's Pit online. You've got a couple additionally on the side of Envy, so you've got something cooking here, but I mean, like, Riv, where's the answer? Right? Like, what's the answer? Who are you looking to step up? Because Vivo Keyed, they just seem entirely unfazed.
Their first shots are on point, too. The confidence of an opening first shot goes round after round. You do not slow down, and we're seeing that here. Ye's able to get a nice one to Vixen as they start the A take.
Very well played by Mirrors, wrapping around the corner at the exact time, but Crashy's good for 2 with the Sheriff. That's going to drop things down to a 2v2. Now Crashy's just 5 health. Joe's going to clean up FNS. Again, that's like, man, the Lurk just hasn't been there. Right, like they've been able to have a beat on it the entire time. What kind of shot? Oh, Crashies. Good for 4 with the Sheriff.
We talked about the 3Ks, the 4Ks, Doug.
Oh, the Raz
is gonna need a 5.
So much more difficult. Yeah, but he's gonna upgrade a weapon. Crashies has a chance for the ace. The Red Bull clutch from Envy. Is this the turning point? Is this where life is breathed back into that roster? And is this where the comeback starts?
It just never ends with Crashy's clutches. You have to be kidding me in every sense of the phrase. Oh my God, Crashies.
1 enemy remaining.
Riv, and like what a perfect time, right? Because they were 6 feet under. Things did not look good. The first half had been absolutely disastrous. They needed that in that moment.
The res, the everything, and that's a res pulled out of Joe.
Yep.
That's ultimates, 3 ready now. That was the round. We said if this continues to go to Vivo Keyed, they will just surmount so many over Envy in this first half. So we'll see if the 7-5 can be possible now, as Envy's getting a little more aggressive again. That put a vibe back in their step.
Victor going in aggressive. The Hunter Series there as well. Victor's good for 1. As NTK tried trying to get out, nothing doing quite yet. Boy's playing with fire.
Yeah, he's just standing out in the open. He's like, you're not going to think I'm here. Like you said, playing those tight spots right now. Envy's trying to pull out all of the stops here to make sure the last rounds can be theirs on the first half of this Icebox matchup. Slow movement into A. Vivo Keyed has had success at both sites, so See if it ends here.
Yeah, well, and the thing is, like, Joe's going to be able to get him for free, right? Like, NV clearly playing off-site. They're playing retake. They're not worried about it, and for good reason. They have Crashies, Hunter's Fury. They have the lockdown as well, and there's no counter on the other side for it, right? So they can play off a bit and then lean in on their ultimates to do just that, to get the kill onto Joe. The spike is down, and now they're going to be able to creep their way forward. FNS gets one across the middle of the map onto Vixen, and TK still hasn't gotten the spike down. Full numbers in favor of NV. Of course, as I say that, he good for one, not able to land the second. Gave her a haircut on the way out. Is he going to be able to land the second shot? Slowly, surely, trepidatiously working their way forward, but no, Victor good for one on NTK. Crashies cleans up the last. Envy get another one.
There was a slight discussion. I don't know if it was during the tactical timeout or the last few rounds that actually made that one work, but they feel comfortable now coming in as a team. Like you said, leaving the site. I think a lot of that round opening up here was comms from FNS in mid. Knowing that, you know, somebody's near me, most likely the Viper cleans her up in the end, but that lets the rest of the team know what they're going to be facing and how worried they have to be on a retake or positioning themselves for an angle to take that site, execute. 7-3 here as we come into round 11. Vivo Keed started off very hot. Envy started to adapt, but that's still a lot of rounds.
Now, this is the first time, if I'm not mistaken, that we see Vixen put out his Viper util before the round starts. So this is a different look, right? Every time previously, it's been later in the rounds. They act off of that. This is a first early look. He gets the best of FNS.
He considered, at this time, probably one of the best in Brazil. And he has shown why. Continuously opening up these first bloods and on players like FNS means those round clutches dwindle a little bit more for Envy. And again, to the A play, it looks like they are just stampeding through on this one.
They're going to get in for free again. You highlighted him as probably one of the best. I'd venture as far as to say maybe the best in Brazil, and you can tell with how he's played so far. You can certainly see where that claim comes from. Finds himself in a great spot too. Cleared out. Excuse me, the dart is cleared out. Yay, drops already, and Heat's still in a great spot. Marv slowly creeping his way forward as the spike continues to tick away. Just 2 members left on the side of Envy. Marv good for one, though, as he gets his. Oh, just narrowly missing the second.
This is exactly what Joe said in the beginning, right? He will be up front. He's in there, behind enemy lines. He has always been in this spot, and he's more than happy to— oh my God, ships in the night! You gotta be kidding me, they just crossed each other.
Crashies, once again, in a clutch situation. NTK down to 1 health, Vixen full health, but there's just not enough time! There's not enough time! He's good for the second one! But is he gonna get the defuse? No, there's just not enough time!
There's too much hype. I didn't hear the fast beep. I thought that was a medium beep. It was easy to call once he got on it. Oh my word. Damage is done there. It's a final round. It can matter a little bit, but I think Vivo Keed has the money to get back into just a buy round for this, but and then he peeks because they know the time is obviously there. Us yelling, obviously can't hear that. 8 to possibly 4, 9-3 could be that first half score. Let's find out here.
A couple of key ultimates close for members on Vivo Keed. You've got Heat and Murray's 1 point away from having each of those online, the Bladestorm and the Empress, respectively. Now, at least for Vivo Keed on the attack, again, a heavy look towards A. You see that Viper util go out, and it looks like it's going to be another heavy one that way, and yeah.
I mean, they're already just that, as you said, the wall being out really means that any one of them going through has to put themselves in an incredibly dangerous situation. And another follow-up shock, though. Great damage to start and take that armor off of Dejo.
All right, lockdown comes online, so you're either going to have to pull off of the site or go further in, right, to be able to clear out of some of that stuff. There aren't very many good options, so for Vivo Keed, they're going to have to fight through this, and that looks like it's exactly what they're doing. Victor was able to take one out on the way. There was one player was detained, but take a look at the flank. Take a look at the flank! As Vixen wraps his way around, Vixen was behind the enemy lines. Marv able to take care of Joe, however, as Vixen continues to creep his way forward. There is the defuse, though. The timing was not right. The play was there. The positioning was there. But the time was not, and a desperately needed round from Envy there to close out that half.
Holy moly, what a one by them.
What a round indeed. And again, Riv, like, given how that first half went, that was a needed round, right?
Seeing how everything went back and forth, and Envy was only able to creep in for a few rounds, but Vivo Keed also answered back. Kind of tells me Envy was not liking either of those situations. The best thing they came up with was only in the last few rounds, and that was to full retake as a team and try to trade every kill that came through it. And some of those just relied on a 4K, right? Or almost the kills. And a lot of almost is never going to win you a match. If Vivo Keed is coming in with the for sure shots, a lot of opening first bloods, and it's very hard to take a game if that's what you're up against.
Well, we'll see what sort of magic and tomfoolery Vivo Keed were up to as Sean's going to break down everything he saw in that, well, at least one round of everything he saw in the first half. Sean, take it away.
Yeah, guys, Vivo Keed look really good, and that's not a good sign for NA, and I'm going to show you guys why they put a lot of prep into this game. So I picked out a round where they clearly have an idea of what Envy like to do. So what we're going to draw attention to first, actually, is Maurice over here at A and why he gets openings. So before we ever even start the clip, let's talk about why he gets openings. He's going to get it because of the Viper wall over at B, the smoke mid that we've talked about previously, but I'm going to talk about why his Viper wall that he's going to lay down is so good. The one you're seeing right now on the screen, this is actually the defensive Viper wall. And the reason why this one's good is because it requires the attackers to cross it many times. And this is what makes a good Viper wall, right? You're going to have to cross it once here, once here, once here going towards the site, once there, and then you're going to have to cross it back, going back if you plant the spike. So that's what makes a good wall. Now with that in mind, let's start playing the clip. And you can see all 4 of the players right now on Vivo Keed are grouping at B. The drone is coming through right now clearing, and the jet is right behind it. And if we pause right here, we can see exactly what's going on. So 4 people aggressively pushing B. Envy is realizing this, actually. And even though Ye falls aggressively on the belt over here, what you're going to see is Envy actually is very aware that this is going to be a B hit. Victor is the only one left at A nest. He has tons of information. He's very aggressive over there. So let's keep rolling it a little bit. And you can see the Viper wall from the attack side comes in. And there it is. And that blocks all of the vision from the Envy players. But you can see actually Envy responds by getting a little bit aggressive in mid. But as Maurice gets more and more ground over here at this A site, he takes out Victor in almost the same exact spot as Ye. And here's actually what's happening. Look how passive he is right here. He is playing this passive because he knows El Diablo, from watching these North American games, is a hyper-aggressive jet. And Ye will always look for those first bloods. So they put the lurking Reyna over here at A, everyone's worst nightmare in ranked. And then they cross mid by reactivating this Viper Poison Orb. It was absolutely perfect timing. Actually, Envy had 2 players holding that cross. And if we pause here again, you can see Maurice actually holding the cross for his teammates, making sure that no one comes in through screens. These players are unaware that someone could be out on the rafters in back A site. So instead of rushing towards the site to plant, they let Heat, who is on this insane lurk with Bladestorm, activate this lurk. And this is what's showing me that Vivo Keed is just a very dynamic team. This is an incredible mid-game read by them. So let's keep playing the clip here. And what you're going to see is Heat get activated here. He's going to find a kill, I believe, on FNS right here as he crosses into screens. And that just causes so much confusion. Right away, another frag happens on rafters, and we're in a 1-on-5. This is actually insane considering that Envy had good reads on the situation, but these early Reyna frags really open things up, and the reactivation of the Poison Orb to cross back to A perfectly allowed Heat to get back on this lurk, and there was just no shot for Envy in this round. Honestly, they got completely outplayed. I am terrified for them right now moving through this series because Vivo Keed has done their homework. They're ready to play. And this could be a quick series like the first 2, guys.
We're like,
yes, indeed. We're back. Thank you so much.
So good.
Sean, you're right. Dynamic. I think that's the one thing that's been most impressive in watching them. And then Riv, I don't want to be the one to start casting a little doom and gloom, but for Vivo Keed, their defensive half is statistically better than their attacking half. So we're going into a spot where Vivo Keed, at least, again, technically, should be even more impressive. Now, for Envy, they don't play this a ton, right? 4 reps.
True.
But
Right. Yeah. If we look at the reps that they have on Icebox again over the past 3-4 months, it's 11 plays on that side of Vivo Keyed with a 7-4 record to Envy's 2-2.
Right.
The 4 whole plays. You scrim it, you do this, but that pressure isn't the same. You're doing different things in scrims.
Absolutely. We'll see what Envy can do on their pistol, on their attacking half. Hot and heavy going down towards A, but Murius is already there, and we've talked about Arena in a pistol round and how devastating she can be. She's already started off with 2, looking to get 3, and Dix, oh my goodness, looking to get 4. As Murius has already gotten 3, he's going to dismiss away.
Out of all his utility now, this is just going to be what he has in the tank to fight the 2 in front. Sees the leg of 1. That's going to be Victor going down. And they're just going to finalize this one on Marv. Playing it smart, playing it safe. Vixen finds that frag for the flawless Prime Gaming round.
Vivo Keyed starting off hot. Given the deficit that Envy found themselves looking at halftime, you need that pistol, right?
You need it.
You need it real bad.
Because you didn't get the first one.
Exactly, and now we're talking about a 9-4, more than likely a 10-4. Right, going into the second half. We talked about how statistically that's better for them. That's not the look you want to see going into this.
Absolutely awesome stuff. And actually looking at what we usually see here for Maurice, he did come from Game Landers, right? Or sorry, he used to play for Pain Gaming. Duelist there, so he feels super comfortable in the role, but he plays so much for the squad.
Yes.
Here, back on his Duelist role, feeling like everything is working out. He is getting opening shots, as Sean was saying, with Heat right behind him.
Now, Ye has a Marshall, but I just don't know that they're going to have much to work with there. As you see, Vixen's going to be the one who's going to get back up. He's going to have to backpedal there, and he's been hurt a little bit. He's down to 49 health, and we have shown a lot of presence be long, but the problem is you've got Heat who's taken away mid. As they rotate out, once again, they find themselves in a chokehold that they're not going to be able to easily get by. Heat should be able to land the shots. He was able to tag one up, dash away, get away with his life, but the pressure's there. They feel that.
All right, Envy, what do you got on this one? Ye's able to find one with the Marshall there. Vixen goes down. They are in the 5v4s. Reset, audio cut. Slow walk back over to the other site. Spread Vivo Keyed as thin as possible to make sure you're only seeing maybe 1 or no utility as you head to the site. B is going to be the execute. NTK waiting patiently.
They say second time is the charm, I believe, as they work their way towards B for a second time, and that's unfortunately not going to be the case this time around. Marv was able to get one. It looks like they should be able to get the spike down as well, so financially, okay, you've got something cooking, but now you've got the remaining members of Vivo Keyed that have started to rotate over. Muri's is going to be the last one who's going to show up, but they don't have, I mean, there are no snake bites, right? There is no lineup, there's no nade, there's nothing to really cause problems with here as the spike has started. FNS good for 2 though.
Quick cleanup. Yeah, quick cleanup there.
Okay.
Not what we were expecting as they kind of turned and were trading and Vivo Keyed came in. But Envy finds themselves a quick round there, a much needed round as we were talking about how important pistols were. Even better if they can start shutting down the bleeding right after Vivo Keyed feels like they can run away with the first 3 here for your gun round. That is not going to be the case. So clean up coming in from FNS, feeling good with the frenzy. And it looks like they're going to do a little exec towards A. A nice hold on the flank by FNS here so they can make sure they have all of the info before they execute.
Now this round may not, well, actually, given how the previous round went, I kind of hesitate to say this, is look at how Heat, he's already taken the rope across, and he's gotten one detected. No, Victor sniffed it out. Spidey senses tingling, Heat drops. But the thing is, this round technically should go in favor of Envy, but I think the important thing here is the economy has gone absolutely sideways, right? Like, this should not play out this way. And Vivo Keyed right now, they did just get that upgraded weapon off of Vixen, but this shouldn't have gone this way.
Seems like Envy's warming up a little bit, really shaking off all the cobwebs on that. These rounds, I mean, it was on defense, but these rounds for Envy were just absolute stampedes for Vivo Keyed, taking win after win. So now that we see they have a little bit of gumption behind them, Envy's going to make their run. Vandals in hands. Not going to see any operators from that side, but it is going to be Heat holding hard angles. It's up now to Envy to figure out where Heat is, break his first angle, and then be able to get the rotations out of Vivo Keyed and spread them thin once again. It's a process here. Envy's not doing their opening shot game that just kind of wows you right now. It's a little more methodical.
Heat looking for an opening shot game, and he might get the shot on it. No, Ye dashes back, the up shot doesn't land. He gets tagged up, and Ye certainly wins that duel. Now they have a bit more presence across mid as well.
Knowing the operator's on the move, already took its first shot. Got to feel better about that. Spike is down for the moment, so they have not decided which way they want to go. You can always look at the spike and kind of tell the intentions of a team, how favorable they even feel that Vipers up on pipes. You know, they have not moved with the spike yet. They're still listening for audio, and that's actually what Marv is doing right now, taking in every bit of input that he can to deliver to the team, and they have a great push up onto B, so it's their oyster. The world is their oyster here. Yeah. What are they going to do?
Well, what I think the interesting thing, too, is Sean was talking about how dynamic Vivo Kid are. They've shown so many different looks. Look at this one, right? Noise has been cut. They have no idea where Envy are. They're playing so far back.
It's true.
Like, yeah, we're not going to give you anything.
Yeah. Let that op go to work.
Yep.
Let Heat do something with it before you see anything.
30 seconds
Heat
left.
might get a shot at something here. There's a bit of a cross. The Roomba's there, but it's not going to be around for long as Victor isn't either. He gets cleaned up. Now they should have a very good idea with 20 seconds left that the hit is one on to B. FNS with the spike, looking to get it down.
Oh,
Ye's
yay.
good for 2. The snake bite tags him up, but the spike does go down. There is the lockdown as well, and that's exactly what comes out. Ye has a blade storm to work with. This Mirrors is working his way across the middle of the map. Ye's waiting for it. He's waiting for it.
He literally dominated this entire time.
Oh my gosh, El Diablo's not winning any of these duels. And that's so big. That's such a big confidence play from Mirrors, but Marv able to take care of him. Numbers advantage still in favor of Envy, albeit slight, but it's there as the spike continues to tick away. Vivo Kid are going to have to bust a move here if they want a chance to win this round as Vixen creeping his way forward. FNS on the other side. He left alone with the op, not able to save it either. Yeah, he drops. Envy get to 7. Slowly but surely, step by step, Envy are working their way back.
All right, let's take stock of the game. You can look at the scoreboard all you want. It kills some, anybody on the bottom doesn't tell you much. We've seen FNS participating in a lot of the important frags at the end of that one. So let's look at the ultimates. Let's look at how the rounds are going and where the money's at. That's 3 rounds in favor of Envy here. 2,900 now going into the hands of Vivo Kid. So that's, if Heat dies, he has 2,900, right? A little bit more across the board. Or no, sorry, they're going to be rich. I'm looking at a 0 bot. But yeah, that money is going to be super tough now that they're still continuing to buy, still continuing to find marshals. Oh, Reeves.
Whoa.
Never mind.
Whoa.
They're just making me eat crow with these shots.
Again, Reyna with a pistol, like, she just has the possibility to cause so many problems. But okay, Marv and Victor stabilize the situation, as does Crashies. His numbers go back their way, but these kills, Riv, are just being traded back and forth every time.
It's really hard, actually, for the defense to react, or even the offense to react. So you can see the team's kind of resetting a situation for a few seconds before moving forward, because these frags are coming in so quick and disrupting what each of the strategies are on take and retake. Still a showstopper here. If they can identify where the members are, that might be a viable option.
Yep, Marv was on the flank. He was able to get the last kill. So now it's just Vixen alone as the spike continues to tick away. He's got a rifle. Drop. Poison orb on the spike. Gets the tap and immediately pulls out. 61 health, no armor to work with as well, and no health to work with after that shot as Victor cleans him up. Envy gets to 8, and they are refusing to give anything up here.
Seems like they're stringing them together all their own, and when Envy has the momentum, that's when we've seen them be so powerful. They can start working off each other. Ye can do his own thing. We know Victor and Crashies are that combination that go from team to team, and they synergize so well, it adds a lot of power to Envy. You get a package out of those two. So all of that coming together for Envy now, really coming online. 3 ultimates there as well to be used.
All right, so Ye's got an op. He's going to be holding down A. Marv is alone towards B, but he's got the ultimate. So, assuming at this point you hear anything, you can get into a position where you drop it or back up and save that as teammates show up to rotate for help. Meanwhile, you've got heavy presence mid. But Vixen just backs off.
It's the first time we've seen Envy just 5-man it towards the situation. They're actually trying to see how hard they can get Vivo Kid to pressure the T side of the attacking side of the map, but it does not look like they're going past more than that tube area in mid.
Envy waiting, and now they go. Satchel. Victor not landing on anything with the showstopper, but they've gotten space, right? They've gotten the site. But what they have lost is FNS.
Yeah, Vixen actually took quite a bit of damage on that splash through the wall, just on the other side of the garage.
way.
He heard that step when he went up. Marv takes down NTK.
The spike is still not down. It has been recollected as Joe drops. All right, Marv is going to go ahead and drop the Viper's Pit, so they're looking to secure this round. They desperately need it. You've got the remaining members of Vivo Kid. We're still really kind of playing off-site. Vixen's the only one who's close. The remaining two are mid. Vixen is good for it. On to Victor.
Left.
But it's still a 3v3 here. Ye does have the op. Spike still has not been planted.
Heat from the flank. Beautiful flank. Oh, my word.
Now, Heat still has plenty of health, so he's going to be able to re-aggress. But the spike did finally go down. And it's going to be countered by their own Viper Pit. So it's just going to be green gooey mess across your screen all over the place as you see him overlap almost perfectly, looking like a Venn diagram on your minimap. Heat good for it onto Marv, so that's going to drop theirs. That's going to give Vivo Kid so much more room to work with. As Ye is weak, Crash is 1 point away from having his Hunter's Fury online. Vixen's starting to get the tap. Vixen's looking to get it, and it doesn't matter. They're going to get the kills. The defuse will follow shortly thereafter. Vivo Kid increase the lead back to 2.
And that's what we saw them taking the wins off of in the first half. A chaotic round where they can just mill about, basically set up defense inside the site somewhere. You see Heat always near that box in A, along with a few members of the team. And they just love being able to play these quick peek angles, pinch angles, and getting after a team once that chaos has started. Beautiful. And I think they know when they have that upper hand in the situation, because at the moment you're retaking a site like that, the moment you start getting consecutive frags, that's when you see a team looking back and forth. That's when they're messed up and discombobulated. And Vivo Kid playing off that well. 10-8 as we get to round 19, Doug.
Ult Orb going into Victor's pockets, one step closer to having the showstopper online, and much like we saw in the previous round, it's going to be a heavy lean towards B. You've got Vivo Kid have gotten a ton of info across the middle of the map from NTK's drone, so they know that there's very little presence there. Excellent kill, though, onto Vixen. That should give them a bit of room to work with, but you've got Heat with the op and the Blade Storm in his back pocket. Ye has to be careful here.
Literally cat and mouse. Nobody's going to peek on this one. This is the patience we saw from both, or we're seeing from both teams. It continues, carries the look. Ye waits a little bit longer. He gets the upper hand. The spray coming in from Joe.
Spike is not gone down yet, as Victor should be able to do so here shortly. You've also got Mirrors on the opposite side of the map waiting to see if they're going to flip it, but no. Now that Spike goes down, he knows he's going to have to rotate over. He's going to show up a bit late, but excellent from NTK. Let's wait. If they can get a little bit more help, maybe get a kill, then they can bring that Hunter's Fury online and cause some problems.
FNS with a fantastic watch towards mid. Already took one down, does it through the Lear as well onto Maurice. And it looks like they'll back up just a little bit on this one, knowing they're quite safe. Ye's gonna find the final kill to bring it 10-9 here. Envy 1 away from tying this up, and I believe this starts to put a lot of pressure on Vivo Kid and where they are in that economy game.
Yeah, and I think the interesting thing about that as we talk through economy in these specific rounds is none of these rounds have come easy, really, for either team. Right? Like, they haven't been big sweeps. They haven't been, I think we've had one flawless round, but other than that, it's been very close, down to 1v1s, 1v2s, and that has significant impact on economy as the rounds play out.
And you got to think of what that last round actually did. It's great to win a round, but if you're that late in the game and you win a round, then lose a round, that is detrimental, because now they're looking at an eco. If they lose another round, they're not even getting that much round loss money. So they are now, Vivo Kid, in a much tighter position economy-wise to be able to take this game. And Envy has been setting this up consistently throughout it. Obviously, you look for the frags, you look for the fights, but they start to understand their money roll, what they can do, and what winning certain rounds will do against Vivo. So, again, having that round for Vivo to reset their money back to one loss being $1,900 is kind of hurting.
Certainly going to hurt, and as you see, kind of it's starting to mess with them, right? Vivo Kid, while they have seemed to have been in control for every round up until very recently, now they're the ones who are calling the attack, slow things down. We're on the cusp of taking down a high premier organization from North America in the opening map of this best of 3. Let's not make sure we lose control of the moment. That's exactly what Vivo Kid do. But the thing is, I mean, it could happen here, but they do only have pistols, Riv.
And you can see that round 17, 18, 19 is the one. Vivo brought one back. And Envy being able to take round 19 really hurts it. Now on Eco, 3 ultimates ready. Do we see the Bladestorm right away? And the answer is yes from Heat.
Envy creeping their way up towards A. You've got a couple members now that are rotating over. You've got NTK who's shown up. You've also got you've got Joe waiting just around the corner. For Envy, while the noise was cut, they are going to at least spot Victor. So now, Vivo Key don't understand that much, right? They know there's one player towards A. They don't know at this point that there's a death ball waiting on the other side.
A little bit of push on B, and no noise yet. Probably allows Vivo Key to infer that they can rotate over. You already see that Joe is going towards A little bit to hold that mid area and make sure they have a lean towards that execution.
Yeah, and I think at this point there should be no more question of where Envy are. You've seen Sova util, you've seen Raze util, you've seen a little bit of everything.
But wait, as soon as you think Envy's committing, they're going to be hopping out slow to see if that mid flank is being worked again, a place where Heat likes to play, pushing out of the tube. They don't find him. We've seen Maurice here as well on a few rounds.
30 seconds left.
And it looks like FNS he's taken up his spot, right? Yep. That's where he lives on Icebox here.
All right, Envy have gotten all the way up to 410. We've seen just how good Maurice can be with the Sheriff, and he kicks it off just in time as he's able to get 13 seconds left. Now for Envy, this is go time. You cannot wait much longer to get the spike down.
Word.
NTK drops, Victor gets the spike down, a little jiggle, a little shoulder, and my goodness, the cojones to do something like that.
Yes.
Get away with it. Maurice does drop Heat with the Bladestorm though. Looking to equalize things, the burst misses. He's gonna be able to dash across. He's still working his way in as Victor drops.
Player standing.
As it's just down to Vixen. Vixen in a 1v2.
Has that Vandal. He was able to drop FNS on the way over. Yeah, he's gonna be looking high. He can come low and they don't have the help yet. This is gonna be a tough. Oh, why did you turn before he got her on the corner? Oh no. Yay. Coming up with that hold, and he backstepped just in time to get that corner safe for himself. Smart play and strong to get it to 10-10 here from Envy. Everybody participating in these frags. We can see it starting off. Heat again being the first one to trade, and he's so versatile when he gets out. Blade in Classic, and he's doing damage there. And you can kind of see Vixen coming around the corner, not really checking the angle there. Just a bit of a mistake. It happens, and Ye takes advantage of it.
All right, now Envy find themselves tied. They've been on their back foot for really the entire game, and now they find themselves back at really essentially 0-0, first to 3. Envy leaning towards B, but a much slower start, right? Like no early denial of space. You do have the Hunter's Fury that's come out. And we did see a couple tags. It's going to be traded back out as Zhao and Crashies both drop as dueling Hunter's Furies cause problems across the site. He gets the op shot onto Ye as he has had his number for it seems like the majority of the map. He's able to get a second one onto Victor as well. That op's still online, and now they've got a problem because you can see Vivo Key slowly but surely suffocating out the space that Envy have to work with. They've taken mid, they've taken A. You've only got space across B long, and guess what? You've got an op staring you down there as well. An excellent response from Vivo Key as Envy slowly try to claw their way back into this thing. They shut the damn door on them.
And it's a disgusting amount of pressure on Vivo Key in these rounds. We talked about the economy. We talked about losing these rounds and what it meant with how much of a bankroll that Envy had in the last few rounds, getting those consecutive wins. And this, to start this off as well, almost dodges it. Pulls it back on the strafe jump. Nicely done, but as you said, NTK is able to finish up onto Crashies, and these frags coming in from Heat. He is so confident about his play. Another 3K for him. Team is ready. Vivo Key knows this could easily be their map, and they are not letting up one bit.
Vivo Key once again have taken the lead. Envy still at a place where they could buy up. So you've still got an op in the hands of Ye. You still have a couple of very key ultimates in the hands of Victor and FNS, but Vivo Key, look at how aggressive they are. Look at how much space they've taken mid already.
You should run.
They're fearless, Riv.
Throws down the ultimate, and they're just going to be able to hang out behind this, wait for it to go off, and then they'll smother. The turret allows Envy to know, but now it's about setting up a garrison, and they haven't even made it in the site yet, Doug.
Crashy's able to trade one out, but he is in serious trouble as they're running at him as the lockdown, cancels out. Ye with the op. As you hear, the showstopper has come out as well. Victor drops at the hands of a snakebite of all things.
Last player
The
standing.
round has gone absolutely sideways for Envy. How many more chances do you have? How many more opportunities do you have if you're Envy to claw your way back into this thing? Yay. El Diablo finds himself in a 1v3. He's got a gun. Make that a 1v2 as he's cut noise. But they know he's there. The spike is in his hands.
So much time.
He's got the blade storm in his back pocket as well. Slowly creeping his way forward. Oh, but they've spotted him. They know where he is. Vixen's got his number. Yay, just down to 18 health.
Look at this.
Brutal
30
spot.
seconds left.
Thinks he's being surrounded, gets shot at from behind, tries to identify a second player, but knows he's just alone and has to wonder where that flank is now coming from.
What's his play? I mean, at this point, you get the spike down for economy. But no, Yay jumps out, and NTK is waiting there. Vivo Kid, excuse me, at map point.
Amazing.
Match point.
Vivo Kid not letting up one bit, losing rounds on literally things that put them almost to $0 in just classics. They're able to have the ultimates necessary for those rounds. Having the Blade Storm for when they were put down on their econ late game that would usually crush a team right in its tracks. And here, the patience. No need to pressure. They know what Yay can do in that situation, and they will not allow it to happen.
Envy, North American representative, find themselves with their backs against the ropes early on in this best of three as Vivo Kid has given them everything they can handle and then a bit more. Economy's still okay enough. Yay, the one exception. He has a Marshal, but he does have that Blade Storm to work with. Victor looking to go in aggressive. Goes up top and he drops! It's just aggression out of Envy, and it wasn't matched up by anything. He just gets popped right off the bat. Marv is so weak as well, but you're right. Yay has gotten him behind enemy lines with that Blade Storm in an excellent spot. I don't know that he spotted Muri's though. I don't know if he spotted him, but he is going to drop at the hands of FNS. Marv trading it out. They have control of the site. They should be able to get the spike down. Vixen's going to save. And, oh, I thought he was going to try to get the ult orb. He wouldn't have had time to do it anyway to bring that ult online. So, unless there's some serious magic out of Vixen here in this 1v3, we should be playing another round. And Riv, we need to start talking about the possibility of overtime here.
Absolutely. Envy coming up with the rounds in this one with the aim. Right, we actually saw that Yay was able to execute in mid, get a cheeky spot over that wall, and they didn't know he was in kitchen. But it ended up that B and kitchen weren't even necessary for Yay. As he takes one, the map was literally already opened up by the rest of the team. He cleans up 3 as the stragglers start to pull around. Right. And Envy find themselves another round. So as soon as Yay can go off and do his own thing, it's fantastic. Here they'll switch it up, operator versus operator. Our final round possibly of our first map.
And we make it a little something in that op and op across the middle of the map. Heat working to play forward, but no, Yay draws blood first. He gets away without having to pay for it. A rare miss from Heat. But they're going to have to work their way through that Viper Spit if they want to go towards B.
Turret's already up to kind of let them know if anybody pushed. That's FNS moving into A. And as you said, the Viper ult being up makes things a little harder. As Yay picks up another one. He's been able to do 2 rounds in a row with an operator, and he is the one to find the frag.
Yep, and that's key because it hasn't been that way for the majority of this map, right? Like, people have had Yay's number, but now Yay seems to be coming online. He's already gotten 3 with the operator. Envy looking to push the matter to extend the map to get to overtime. Marv able to put the finishing touches on what was a desperately needed round. Vixen with the op in a 1v5. Spike goes down as well. He's good for one, but that's all it's going to be. Envy find themselves back in a situation after seemingly dead, forcing overtime, the first overtime of the tournament, if I'm not mistaken.
Absolutely. We're going to see what these teams have for each other, instantly swapping sides for those 2 rounds. And we'll see what Yay did just to open this one up. Again, plays towards mid. There has been a lot of action mid. You think about the precedents that have been set by both teams, they have been enjoying a bit of mid action. Right. So going there with the operator first is almost a guaranteed kill. You're playing off of all those bits of historical memory from the rounds to give you that advantage. And Envy did a great job at just pinpointing where Vivo Kid would be for those last few and getting themselves into overtime.
So Ye opting to go for the glass cannon here. Overtime rules means you don't have as much moolah in the bank as you would normally. So no armor, but does have the op and does have a little bit of utility to work with, and already working his way across the middle of the map. Gonna peek off of the Sova drone. No one's gonna be there as all of Vivo are towards A.
Alarm bot down. It's going to be the retake aspect of this for Envy. They're fine to let A go down for now, but no, FNS was in a tough spot there and goes down.
He was in a brutal spot. He was there by himself on an island, but now the rest of Envy is showing up. Now they're starting to rotate over. The problem is they don't have very many points of entry. You can't rotate around because you've got NTK who's holding the flank. They're going to have to brute force their way in. The nice thing is there's still plenty of time. But now, Zhao's going to get the spike down.
Spike planted.
And again, they are huddled in that site, trying to just give Envy a hug. Just not leaving.
It's just chaos.
Go against them now, Doug.
Crashy's good for 2. NTK is left alone. NTK on the flank. You've got 2 members left on the side of Envy, and they're both weak. The tap has started. Is he going to be able to get anything with the shock darts? Crashy's trying to hold it!
Whoa! They got it. Oh, okay, Marv is in there. For a moment, I was like, Spike Diffuser killed. He got half, though. He got half. Holy moly, awesome dart coming in. A little last second thought from NTK, but it was not enough. Envy takes that round, and just by a thread too. You're almost like, wait, who actually is going to have this as we swap back and forth there? But again, Doug, this huddle strategy of staying inside the site, it's so wild to me.
Hey, Jimmy. Come on, boy.
They are not concerned.
No.
That's not the response of someone who's playing in an overtime map right now. He's just chilling, right? Like ice in his veins, if you will. Now we've got Vivo Kid on the defense. He doing exactly what Ye did, goes for glass cannon, and it pays off early on.
Does have a dash, so he's going to be taking the aggressive peek once again. Nice shot by Maurice. Takes down El Diablo, and that's 2 down now for Envy as we look for a possible overtime, another overtime round here. And yeah, that looks like it's going to be solidified in the last few shots, unless it's the man, the myth, the Crashies. He's got a lot of work to do, and Maurice is feeling it more this round with the 3K.
Yeah, they tried to go A, and the problem is, like, Envy lost members all over the place, right? He was able to provide value with that op early on. There were 2 that died mid, and then at that point, your numbers are so depleted, you can't really make a ton happen there. You mentioned Crashies was in a 1v5 at the end there. Well, how many options do you have, right? Yeah. How deep is that playbook?
And it looks, okay, they changed it up, but it looked like Vivo Kid was going to be running 1 and 2, right? They have an A, they have a B, and they run those back-to-back as if they were just on the attack side. We'll see how they can handle this one as they make their way towards that B site. Very nice Viper bite, because you got to figure you're not going to be able to waste through armor there.
Yeah, and that's so key because you expect the op to be jump peeking that, right?
Yep.
You drop that snake bite there, no armor, as you said. Certainly worse for wear, and yeah, you get healed up, so we're right back into a better place, but now that heal's offline, that's a big deal.
It resets their first option. You know, the opera wanted to come for something at B, and V's a little more knowledgeable about it, but that doesn't stop what he can do with an operator. That's the thing that matters, is that he can still make these shots even whether you know he's coming or not. A minute left in the round, and it's becoming much more patient in the movement here as they start to encroach on Envy's side, on that defensive side of the map.
So you've still got Heat holding that with the op. Vixen gets spotted. No, he switches out the knife at just the wrong time. But FNS does get traded out. And look at how deep Vivo Kid have gotten in on the B side of the map. You've really got a couple of members on the side of Envy who are in a brutal spot. You've got Marv and you've got Victor, both towards long as they're slowly being wrapped around these guys. We talk about being on an island, but that's big from Victor. Taking out Heat, getting that op offline. Marv is going to have to do the same. They've got to hold strong here. They've got to buy time for their teammates to show up as they aren't rotating over yet.
Slow hold. I think they're worried that somebody is creeping around in mid. I mean, FNS is dead, so they have to wonder where everyone else is.
He's above him. If he doesn't cause any noise, he's going to be able to swing around and catch both of them at just the wrong time. There's Crashies. He's able to get one, and he's going to dismiss away.
And he's going to create pressure. He's not trying to keep it. They hear him going through kitchen, though.
Victor with the showstopper. It's actually Ye who's able to get one. Ye gets the second one as well. Envy once again take the lead in overtime.
The end of these rounds it seems so snap judgment. It's yes, go, we're here. Victor ultimate. All right, Ye's coming in with you, and that's exactly what they need to kind of throw Vivo Kid off their game. What a shot from Ye there to start. He's just crushing right now with the up as he feels it. And be ready to keep going on these rounds. And this is exactly what we saw from Ye in stage 3.
Yep.
And this is exactly what Ye does on every team that he is able to be on. When he was on Anbox, he did this as well. It's not something that's new to him, and he can keep the vibe going. 14-13 now. Vivo was able to pick up this round last time. We'll see if they can bring us to another OT.
Envy need to make something happen on the attacking half. And really, at this point, it almost feels like they've just got to get out of Icebox, right? Beaten, battered, whatever it looks like, walk away with a dub. If you're Envy as Vivo Key, they just refuse to break. They're not going away. They're going toe-to-toe with Envy here. A little bit of early pressure, a little bit of pushback off of Envy to push Heat up into a bit of a more uncomfortable situation. They're not going to challenge that. They're going to rotate elsewhere.
Everybody's getting a little bit of blip information on their mini-maps here as the peaks are going down. Marv trying to clear out that Jenny on right side. Does hear FNS running back and forth. Maurice goes down.
Freaking Mad Lad just swinging out there, finds 2 people, but we'll see if NTK can make something else happen up top. No, Victor good for it. 3 members remain on the side of Vivo Keyed, and this might be what does it. This might be where Envy find themselves out of this disaster of a map. Heat and Vixen, the last 2 remaining members of 4v2 in favor of Envy. Up in the hands of Heat, the best player in Brazil, in a position to clutch something out for North America, but no, he drops. It's just Vixen. Not gonna have anything there as well. The first overtime map at Brazil goes in favor of Envy. It was close, it was scary, but by golly, they walked away with the win.
They did walk away with the win. It seemed like that last round, Vivo Key changed up the way they were playing defense. They played defense that time much like they played their aggressive post plant of attack. Yep. They were all inside. NTK was sitting there behind 410. As we saw Maurice go down in front of him. So yeah, it seemed like they were just caught out of position. Envy needed that one because I'm sure they're kind of rethinking what was going to happen when they came in here. A great game from Vivo Key to start off, and a great finish from both teams here with Envy just taking the last few rounds of OT.
Yeah, I agree. I think we talked a lot about Heat on the side of Vivo Keyed. It was actually Muri's. Again, it was Reyna and it was on Icebox, so we kind of expected, but he popped off 29 and 21. Ye went toe-to-toe with him. So we think about like Ye and all of the discussion around him and is he going to be able to do well on the international stage? Yeah. It was close across the map, but a 29 and 21 start, that's not bad. I'd take that.
Absolutely. Seeing, because you wondered when Envy came in, does it have to be Ye? For now, the answer is kind of yes, right, as we watch some highlights, but you never want to have to rely on one person.
Right.
So Crashies is there for some 4K clutches and the rest of the team coming together. Vivo, though, seeing Heat go in. Muri, you cannot take Vivo Keyed lightly at all. And I think that's why they had the smile on their face, even around losses, is they know they can compete. And there's many more chances here. Not many, but more chances in the group.
There are more chances, and I think if you're Vivo Key, to your point, you walk away with that like, yeah, okay. Yep, we just did that. We went toe-to-toe with a world-class organization. They had the pop-offs, they had the filthy shots, and you talk about a vote of confidence in something like that. You just showed yourself, you just showed Envy that, like, yeah, they can hang, right? And the thing is about a map that close is you were 1-2 rounds away, just a couple of fine, like, split-second moments that changed the outcome of that map. So, map 2, like, there's a whole lot to be excited about there.
I am super excited because looking at that map as we go to bind, this is in favor of Envy.
Yes.
So this is going to be tough. But if they get to the final map, if Vivo Key can toss this one on its head, there's a good chance the third map goes a lot like Icebox.
Ooh, baby, folks, we're going to cut to a break, give you all a chance to maybe grab a drink, catch your breath after that first map. Map 2 just around the corner. Stay tuned.